Okay, this is my first time, on this channel. I was gonna react to this yesterday when the video first dropped, like 5 minutes after it dropped. I didn't, I just waited a little bit. But yeah, TalonVGC, he dropped top 5 most iconic Wolf Glick moments. What a bro, let's go. What a bro, like I ain't gonna lie. What a bro.
Pokemon, with an unrivaled amount of tournament wins in the official Pokemon video game championships and a YouTube.
My prediction is gonna be probably 2015 when he first won with his Paris Trap, right? Obviously his world championship, probably the Swords Dance Rayquaza. I wanna say his Amoonguss when the Amoonguss beat the Urshifu. I can't think of anything else.
Introduced millions of casual fans to competitive play. Wolf is arguably the most iconic player in Pokemon. With his channel's enormous boom in popularity during the Scarlet and Violet era, he's made quite a few new fans, many of whom don't fully grasp the extent of Wolfie's competitive history, stretching all the way back to Pokemon Black and White in 2011. As a fellow old head player myself, I've been there from the start.
Nah, Talon been in this since 2010. That's kind of crazy, man. That's dead crazy.
And I'm putting that experience to good use here by going through the moments in Wolf's Pokemon career that cemented him as a pillar of the competitive scene. We'll be going over the times that perfectly encapsulate not only Wolf's play, but also his personality and overall legacy in the game. In short, the moments that helped shape Wolf Glick into the icon he is today. My criteria for that might differ from yours though, so let me know if I missed any of your favorite moments in the comments below. Without further ado, here are my top 5 most
Alright, let's see the first one. Let's see. Alright, let's see what it is.
Wolf versus Ray.
Oh, versus Ray
Number
Wizzo.
5,
That's
we're looking way back to
ain't it?
Worlds 2012. At the time, Wolf was still a young upstart, well respected for his play and some huge tournament wins, but not yet the popular figure he is today. That was all about to change though, with Wolf making finals of only his 2nd world championship, with a unique team featuring Harvest Executor, a never used Pokemon, along with a unique strategy.
Nah, it's kind of crazy though, I'm not gonna lie, but 2012, you facing the best character, the best player ever in 2010, that's devious.
Skill swap Levitate on a Heatran to get rid of its 4 times ground weakness. It was a fan favorite team, and Wolf could taste victory. However, the last person standing in his way was a familiar face in Ray Rizzo, the reigning 2-time world champion who had knocked Wolf out of his first world championship in top 8 the previous year. It's now finals, with Wolf down 1 loss in the best of 3 set. However, the tide may be turning, since he's finally found an opening to break through Ray's otherwise unbreakable defenses. After baiting a defensive switch-in of Ray's Tyranitar and bringing in his own Hitmontop, Wolf has the upper hand. With the combination of close...
I love these analysis because, I'm not the best player, so I love when they analyze the plays or that.
And one of Heatran's attacks, KOing any of Ray's Pokemon in the Tyranitar slot. Wolf predicts Tyranitar will leave itself open to this pressure, fires off a close combat, but hits into Cresselia. Wolf later confirmed that this was a misclick, the pressure of World's Finals against his greatest rival breaking him in the final moments. This turn is too much for him to come back from.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't blame him, cause I don't blame him cause, but then what you call it, bro? The DS, that's the old DS he had, right? Cause that's 2012. 3DS wasn't out yet, I'm pretty sure. That's like the DSi type shit, bro. These shits is it's weird, bro. It's weird, mud. It's a small little button, bro. It's weird, bro. So I don't even blame him, bro.
His last chance to crack Ray's defenses, and Wolf loses Game 2 and his chance at the World Championship that year. Now, it may seem odd to include this lowlight in Wolf's highlight reel of a career, but at the time, this was a key part of his legacy. Even so many years later, Wolf's losing record to Ray is a major sticking point against him in the VGC greatest debate. However, what makes this moment iconic to me is that Wolf didn't let it define him. He could have forever been known as the guy who close combated Cresselia in World's Finals, but instead, he reached deep down, put in the work, and years later returned to the World's Finals for a chance at redemption. Today, most people see Wolf as a player who just wins. Simple as that. But I see him as a player who rises up stronger from any loss, no matter how crushing, and this moment stands as a testament to that unbreakable spirit.
Nah, that's facts though. He lost last year after going it was 16, 18 and 0, something crazy like that. And then he came back next season, dropped off. He won 3-4 tournaments last season. Devious. Well,
Sorry
this season.
For interrupting.
My fault. It's this season.
Don't you hate when ads do
this
that?
Season.
Here's how to get rid of them. It's called pie.
Shut up, bro. I don't care about the ad, man.
Number 4. Milotic Magic. Ask any top-level competitor and they'll tell you that defensive play and switching mastery are Wolf's most dominant skills in Pokemon. Not only does he flourish using abilities like Intimidate to lower attack and leave opponents' offenses weakened and frustrated, he also knows how to use their Intimidate against them, with Pokemon like Milotic. Milotic is a Pokemon with underwhelming stats and moves for competition, but a valuable ability in competitive, which raises its special attack stat by 2 stages when any stat is lowered, including its attack stat. Unfortunately, without a competitive boost, Milotic often struggles to make an impact on battles. As a result, competitive players typically avoid leading Intimidate into teams with Milotic to deny it that boost. At the 2015 US National Championship, Wolf recognized this tendency and exploited it, building a team that perfectly abuses Milotic's strengths with a down...
Holy shit. Charizard. Nah, man.
Devious bait. He'd lead Kangaskhan and Landorus, the 2 strongest physical attackers in the format. Predicting an Intimidate switch to weaken them, he'd immediately switch Kangaskhan out into Milotic. Since Kangaskhan was often the fastest Pokemon on the field, and switch order is determined by Pokemon speed, Milotic would switch in before Intimidate activated and receive the competitive boost. To add insult to injury, Wolf would U-turn with his Landorus and bring Kangaskhan in, now pressuring with a boosted Milotic and a neutral Mega Kangaskhan, an overwhelmingly powerful duo. While this is my favorite example of this play, since it involves a friend of mine recognizing its strength in real time, it's far from the last time Wolf has pulled it off. Wolf went on to win a regional with Milotic in 2018 with a similar strategy.
This is still black and white, right?
Of this Milotic and a neutral Mega Kangaskhan.
Oh no, I'm
Intimidate activated and received the competitive.
This is
from the last time Wolf has pulled it off. Wolf went on to win a regional with Milotic in 2018 with a similar strategy, executing his bait several times during his stream games in that season, even doing so at the World Championship. While it may look simple, this play shows not only Wolf's ability to recognize common trends in competitive play, but also his ability to build inventive strategies that bait and exploit them to an absurd degree of success. Number 3.
Wolfey. Alright, but like this just happened. Like this happened like 2 months ago, man. Like let's be realistic here. This happened like 2 months ago, man.
Wolfey comparish.
Well, some players have signature Pokemon or styles of...
Oh, that Marco guy, he's a funny guy. I never seen a video of him, none of that. But I could just tell he's a funny guy just by that word of word. Like, he's a funny nigga, bro.
With the Perish Song Shadow Tag strategy, often known as Perish Trap. Perish Song is a move that starts a 3-turn timer after being used. Once this timer expires, all Pokemon that heard the Perish Song faint, regardless of their HP totals. This is an incredibly powerful move in Pokemon VGC, since you can KO 2 Pokemon, half of your opponent's team of 4, with 1 move. There's just one catch. The Perish Song status expires whenever a Pokemon switches out, which is fairly simple counterplay. However, when a Pokemon with Shadow Tag is on the field, opposing Pokemon can't switch out, forcing them to faint to the Perish Song. Once you know the Perish Trap combo is coming though, the counterplay is pretty simple. KO the Shadow Tag user and switch, or KO the Perish Song user to disrupt their main form of offense. To consistently win with Perish Trap teams, the user needs to have an extremely precise understanding of defensive play, considering not just this turn, but multiple turns in the future, to set the stage for a Perish Song.
Yeah, that's fact. I ain't gonna lie. I would try to use Gothitelle. I'm just not confident in Gothitelle being good, you know? Like, I'm not at all. And then I don't even know if Gengar gets Shadow Tag still, but they nerfed him, so now he's cruised. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Nah, leave that to him. I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't think nobody else could do that good with a fucking Gothitelle Perish Trap. Like, let's be realistic.
It's incredibly rare to compete at the top level with this style of team, but despite that, Wolf has won not 1, not 2, but 3 regional championships with Perish Trap teams. This is already an impressive feat, without even mentioning that Wolf's only brought Perish Trap to regionals 3 times. Add in a recent Perish International Championship win, and you start to understand the level of mastery Wolf has over the strategy. While Wolf's Toronto Regional Finals win against Marco Silva, one of the best Pokemon players in the modern era, is one of his most high-profile Perish Trap wins. I honestly debated placing a Wolf Double Protect, Switch, Protect montage here.
He's the best player in the world, right? Is it Marco or is it Luca? Right? But then Wolf just fried him with a fucking niche team, so I don't know.
I decided to highlight this WolfeyCon Parish moment from his 2015 finals versus future international champion Ashton Cox, the match that put Parish Trap on the map as a serious tournament threat. It's game 1, and Wolf's Parish Song Shadow Tag Mega Gengar is threatened by Choice Scarf Landorus Therian Earthquake. Wolf can Parish Song and switch to Intimidate Scrafty to survive the Earthquake, but losing Shadow Tag to Ashton reading that switch and using Thunderbolt on his Gengar will immediately lose Wolf the game. His back is against the wall, but Wolf Click has a trick up his sleeve. Eject Button Amogus. Eject Button is uncommon in Pokemon competition, since it's rarely advantageous to be forced to switch when your own Pokemon takes damage. However, rarely isn't never. Wolf switches out his Gengar to Scrafty, foregoing Parish Song and Shadow Tag pressure. Landorus's Earthquake strikes Amogus, activating its Eject Button and allowing Gengar to come back in. Wolf can now fake out and disable the Landorus slot to lock it into struggle, then bring in Amogus to use Rage Powder, redirecting Rotom's attacks away from Gengar, and win the game with minimal risk in future turns with Parish Song. This play shows Wolf's multi-turn.
Nah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's insane. So he switches out Gengar because Gengar's fast as shit, so he's gonna get switched out first, right? Then he lets the Amogus get hit so he can switch out, so he can switch off and get the Gengar back in the game. That's crazy.
Side on full display, as well as his keen understanding of how to play himself out of tricky turns. Consistent plays on this level have made the Parish Trap archetype his signature across the years, and have even made the best players in the world wary of WolfeyCon Parish. Number 2. Trick Attack. This next play isn't from a tournament set, but rather from Wolf's YouTube channel at the start of Pokemon Sword and Shield, when his channel took off in popularity and Wolf began focusing on content full-time. Pokemon Sword and Shield introduced a new central mechanic that allowed Pokemon to transform for 3 turns into a Dynamax form, doubling its HP and gaining access to powerful max moves once per battle. Most previous means of disrupting offensive Pokemon didn't work on Dynamax Pokemon. Flinching with Fake Out didn't work since Dynamax Pokemon can't flinch, Protect didn't fully block Dynamax moves, and Roar, Whirlwind, and Red Card failed, since Dynamax Pokemon are immune to an opponent's switch-forcing moves and items. Needless to say, Dynamax changed everything in competition, and in the first few weeks of the game's release, competitive—
I ain't gonna lie, I don't like Sword and Shield. Like, that shit is trash. I don't like Sword and Shield. I had it, I beat the game. I forgot to put my Pokemon in Pokemon Home, and I traded it back in. Got the little refund, right? So I had bought it used. When you buy it used, they give you like, I don't know, like maybe like 14 days to return it. So I beat the game. The game was dog shit. And then I instantly went back. You know, I don't usually return games. I usually like to keep them, especially Pokemon. But that shit was dog shit. That shit was trash.
We're all trying to figure out how to defend against it. Meanwhile, Wolf and his friends were doing this.
I don't get it.
Confused? Alright, time to admit that I buried the lead a little bit in my introduction of Dynamax. While Dynamax Pokemon can't be forced to switch by an opponent's moves or items, it doesn't stop force switches from your own Pokemon's items. Thus, if a Dynamax Pokemon is hit while holding an eject button, it is forced to switch. To use this offensively, you can equip eject button to a prankster user to use an increased priority trick or switcheroo before a Dynamax Pokemon can attack. Then follow up with another fast attack to completely nullify Dynamax if you read it on the turn they begin their transformation. While this requires a pretty big read and commitment of resources, it gives you a massive advantage if it works, sacrificing an item to be able to play the rest of the battle with your own Dynamax while your opponent had theirs wasted. Now, I think this moment represents Wolf in many ways. Competitively, it shows his ability to read his opponents and perform a complete reversal of their expectation using every resource or game mechanic available to him, regardless of how obscure. More casually, it's always been clear that despite how seriously Wolf takes Pokemon, he's also willing to lean into his love for the game and really have fun with it. In my opinion, the combination of these are a big part of him accumulating a massive fan base since then, and this play is personally my favorite example of this.
That was crazy.
Honorable mention, Wolf turns heel. Wolf is so strong that in the time it took me to write and edit most of this video after his Toronto Regionals win, Wolf won the European International Championships, which was the biggest Pokemon tournament ever. While his gameplay was astoundingly good throughout the tournament, after an intense finals match, it was his victory speech that caught everyone's attention, and I'll just let his words speak for themselves here.
Honestly, I'm just thinking about the scope. The biggest official Pokemon tournament of all time. 1,400 players trained their Pokemon, traveled to London, practiced with a friend, worked on their team. 1,400 people showed up to this tournament hoping and dreaming to win the entire thing. But it wasn't enough!
Oh, shit. Oh, nah, he's bugging.
Speaking of not enough, with all eyes on him, Wolf announced that the mysterious, unrevealed winner of the Global Challenge, a massive international online tournament, was none other than himself. Despite having an automatic Worlds invite already and having nothing to play for in the tournament, Wolf pushed himself to win, seemingly just to flex that he could. Wolf has often played around with ego on stream, but here he absolutely turned the bravado up to 11, while still keeping it respectful to competitors and just stating the facts. At this point, VGC feels like his to lose, and with 3 consecutive major tournament wins, it's hard to argue with him. Wolf's EUIC victory speech was incredible theater, but it's so recent at the time of recording this that I can't say where it should fall on this list. However, if Wolf's heel turn stands the test of time, it may one day challenge number 1 on this list for most iconic Wolfey moment.
Alright, what's number 1? What's number 1? What's number 1?
Number 1, World Champ difference.
Oh, okay,
At the end of the
obviously,
day, what else could number 1
obviously.
be but the play that won Wolf the Pokemon World Championships? The culmination of years of hard work, this play comes at the 2016 World Championships, 4 years after his previous finals appearance. Since then, he'd been in striking distance twice, but missed out on a chance at the final top 8 bracket both times due to resistance, Pokemon's controversial tiebreaker system. Getting into finals, he's up 1 game in the set, but vulnerable to losing and sending it to a game 3. Wolf is up 3 Pokemon to 2 with Fake Out available on his Hitmontop, Trick Room is up, and Rayquaza is vulnerable with lowered defenses. If Wolf gets this turn wrong, his opponent can mount a comeback. Using Fake Out into Groudon will stop a powerful Eruption and allow Wolf to hit Groudon with Rayquaza, weakening further Eruption since its base power is determined by remaining HP. However, taking a Gyro Ball on Rayquaza could leave Wolf open to a KO next turn. Alternatively, using Fake Out into Bronzong stops Gyro Ball, but will allow Groudon to use Eruption, knocking out Hitmontop and allowing Wolf's opponent to follow up the next turn with Skill Swap onto his own Groudon, resetting Desolate Land against Kyogre and allowing it to take a double KO. The players weigh the options and the play starts. Wolf's Rayquaza Mega Evolves and Primal Groudon protects, covering for Fake Out into it. Wolf seems taken aback, and his opponent looks up, shocked, allowing himself the hope that he has found a way to start the comeback that could lead to him winning the game and potentially the World Championship.
Yo, I never even noticed that, bro. He's really analyzing this shit.
As Rayquaza clicks Swords Dance, now perfectly poised to win the battle, Wolf playfully grins at the camera, having won that turn and the mental battle. The hope from his opponent's eyes is now gone. With the +2 attack boost on Dragon Ascent, Wolf has the damage he needs to KO the Groudon before going down. In Shades of 2012, Wolf's Hitmontop close comments his opponent's Trick Room user, but this time, instead of crushing defeat, it will result in a sweet, deserved victory and the birth of the World Champ difference. While this may be his most flashy read, Wolf and his opponent later recount that by double attacking instead of protecting Groudon, his opponent had a near guaranteed win that neither recognized at the time. However, nobody knows better the amount of pressure that the World's Finals can bring than Wolf, and exploiting cracks under pressure is part of being a top player.
Yo, shout out Talon, shout out Wolf Blick. I gotta go, man. I gotta go back quick. My foot don't